morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we are looking at the last couple of fighting Pokemon coming out in the new Japanese set Remix bout. And I'll tell you something for nothing, one of these I'm not terribly impressed with. The other one is extremely niche, but I can see a use for it. We are, of course, talking about Throh and Pangoro. So if we start off then having a look at Throh, we got 120 HP, which we don't like, because there's stuff like Buzzwole and Silvally that hit 120. We got a retreat cost of 2, which is annoying, but the new Beware will give you free retreat. We got a weakness to Psychic, which is kind of annoying with Mewtwo and Mew coming to the forefront of the meta, and that is both Psychic and weak to Psychic. So people will be playing that, and they'll be playing Psychic Pokemon to counter that. Yeah, not ideal. But you have fighting Pokemon, and fighting Pokemon are awesome right now. You're hitting weakness on Pikachu and Zekrom, which is wonderful. You got Diancie Prism Star to add 20 damage. You've got Martial Arts Dojo to add 10 damage if you've got a basic fighting energy attached, 40 if you're behind on prizes. And we've got Black Belt, which will reduce your attack cost by 1 fighting energy if you're behind on prizes. Cool. It's a good time to be a fighting Pokemon. Now, there's only one attack on Throh, and it's very situational, but I kind of like it. What it does, for 1 fighting, 1 colourless energy, does 30 damage. Not great. But if any of your bench Pokemon have any damage counters on, you do 120 damage instead. And ladies and gentlemen, this is an attack that is tailor-made for Pikachu and Zekrom. This is a great counter for Pikachu and Zekrom. If any of your bench Pokemon have any damage counters on, you're doing 120. Now this is very much like Drampa GX that will have rotated by the time this set comes out. All you need is 1 damage counter on 1 bench Pokemon and you're golden. Maybe you play Rainbow Energy at some point. Maybe you play Shrine of Punishment and drop a GX down at some point. Maybe your opponent attacks a Pokemon without KOing it. It's not that difficult to get some damage on a Pokemon. And then you're getting a 1-hit KO on Pikachu and Zekrom. But it actually gets better than that, because you've got Black Belt. So if you're behind on prizes, let's say after Pikachu and Zekrom have taken a KO, you attach Black Belt, you attach a single colourless energy, and you're getting a 1-hit KO on Pikachu and Zekrom. And this can be put into any deck, because you don't need to play fighting energy. You're not relying on stuff like Diancie Prism Star to do the extra 20 damage, though that will be good, more on that in a moment. No, ladies and gentlemen, all you need from Throh here is just Black Belt, colourless energy, and you need to be behind on prizes. Plus a damage counter on 1 of your bench. Okay, so it's not the easiest attack to pull off ever. There are some potential downsides here. I get that. But it ain't that difficult to get 1 damage counter on 1 bench Pokemon. And Black Belt can be very easily searched using stuff like Green's Exploration. No, I think this is a pretty gosh darn good Pikachu and Zekrom counter. It can be teched into any deck. Now the question you've got to ask yourself is, okay, is it a better counter than Buzzwole? Because of course if your opponent has exactly 4 prizes remaining, and in a non-GX deck you can largely make sure that's true. They can always do the first attack and then use a GX attack KOing a bench Pokemon, and that will take, well, it will go from 5 prizes remaining to 3, but then again you whack a Mew on the bench, yeah, that'll work. Point is, a lot of the time, Buzzwole, single energy, once during the game, boom, 240 KO. But then again, it's only once during the game. In theory, Throh can just come out here and win. Throh can come out, and as long as you've got 1 damage counter on 1 of your Pokemon, you can get a KO on a Pikachu and Zekrom. And the second energy is a bit of a pain. Now, counter energy won't work here, purely because it's rotated out. And in Expanded, you've got that, and you could also use something like Max Elixir, for instance, but we don't, so you can't. Not in Standard, at least, anyway. So it's not the easiest attack to use, I get that. But it gets you a one-hit KO on one of the most widely played Pokemon for free prizes. That's got to be worth a look. Not to mention it will absolutely destroy Dedenne for 2 prizes that sees a lot of play. And actually, I said 120, but that's a misnomer. Because with Dynasty Prism Star, you're going up to 140. If you're behind on prizes with Martial Arts Dojo, you're going up to 180. There's your Blacephalon. There's your Rayquaza. Oh yeah, now it's getting a lot better. Again, now you're getting into more awkward territory. Now you need to be playing the fighting tricks. But if you are, this is kind of cool. This is really kind of cool. And of course, most non-GXs have 140 or below. I mean, Arcaneye's got 140. The vast majority are less than that. So just this attack with an anti-Prism Star will get a KO on them. I am put off slightly by the energy cost. The energy cost does make me a little bit sad. But Black Bout, if you're behind on prizes, solves it. I really like Throh as a Pikachu and Zekrom counter. I'm going to be giving it between 3 and 4 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies. That would be barbaric. But I had nothing to do with Pangoro, so we're just going to quickly talk about him on the end of this video. 130 HP, yay! Means you're surviving hits from stuff like Silvally and Buzzwole. Retreat cost of 2 is fine with the aforementioned Beware. Weakness to Psychic is annoying. Being a fighting type is great. First attack, 1 colourless energy, 40 damage, not impressed. Not impressed at all. Now, the good news here is that you can use Dynasty Prism Star to go up to 60, get a KO on stuff like Inkay and Grubbin, but then there's plenty of 70 HP Pokemon out there like Poipole or Jirachi, and you won't be getting KOs on them, and that's really annoying. Boo. But the second attack here I'm liking a lot more. 3 colourless energy, 90 damage. And the good news is you're a Stage 1 and triple acceleration energy is a thing. So essentially, 1 energy attachment, 90 damage. But then again, how good is that? It depends what you're up against. If you're up against something like a Malamar, great, but an Agonadal, not great. Up against a Jirachi, great. Zapdos, not great. Although with an Anti-Prism Star, you go up to 110. Oh no, wait. Zapdos resists you. Boo! And then you got all that stuff like Volcanion and Blacephalon that have 120. But against an Dedenne GX, you're doing 180 with weakness. That's really good. But then against a Pikachu and Zekrom, you're not. Now, to be fair, you have got Dynasty Prism Star and you've got Martial Arts Dojo. And even if you're not behind on prizes, that'll put you up to 120 and get a KO. Can anyone spot the problem with this? Yeah, Martial Arts Dojo doesn't work for fighting Pokemon. It works for Pokemon with basic fighting energy attached. And I'm talking about this card on the predication that you're using a triple acceleration energy. To put it simply, you're not getting a KO on Pikachu and Zekrom, even with a triple acceleration energy on a Stage 1. You're just not hitting enough. Even with the modifiers we've got, you're just not hitting enough with Pangoro, and that just massively puts me off it. It's fine, but it's not particularly good. I'm giving it 2 Wassies. So let's finish off talking about Throh. Not the best card ever. Arguably not the best Pikachu and Zekrom counter. But what it is a card with a little bit less HP than we'd like, a little bit higher retreat than we'd like, and a slightly more awkward to pay attack cost than we'd like, but one where we've got the tricks and we can figure it out, and it gets a one-hit KO fairly easily on one of the most widely played and best Pokemon in the entire format. That's got to be worth a look. Why we would get Throh in a mini set and not get Sork, I'm not entirely sure, but maybe Sun and Moon 11B, the next set over in Japan, will give us a new Sork. If it doesn't, I'm going to want words with whoever's designing the set because something will have gone wrong. Not really a fan of Pangoro, but I am a big fan of Throh here. That's a bit of a tongue twister. It's a good Pokemon that I do believe will get teched into a bunch of decks. So there we go. But I'd like to know what you think about the pair of these cards, especially Throh. Although if you think I've missed someone on Pangoro, do please let me know. Ha! I'm rhyming. Sweet. Yeah, go nuts in the comment section. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/TheWassie. patreon.com/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassiePlays, where we talk about games that don't even have Pokemon in. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.